Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. We're doing gardening this week. Monday, I sent out a video on my potato experiment, which was not an utter failure, but really didn't turn out as successfully as I thought it might. I got some great emails from folks and text messages from folks giving me suggestions. One of my buddies, Clark, said his wife, her heritage was from Ireland, so they might have some clues. Another well-meaning buddy, Rick, sent me a text or an email that had basically websites on how to grow potatoes. Thank you very much, Rick. And my good friend from high school days, Cynthia, sent me a text saying that she had had some issues, but she had grown like this 12-foot avocado tree from seed. And that was a wonderful idea for me to think through for today, because today we're getting out of the Genesis gardening creation stories, and we're looking at some creation stories, if you will, from the prophet Isaiah. Now, Isaiah was a Jewish prophet back 600 plus years from the time of Christ, and he wrote some interesting ideas about God making a new creation. Now, I've come out here to this. I want to show you this. The only thing green about this little tree here is the pole that it was going to be tied to. But this tree is, hear this, hear that snap? See this? Dead as can be. Nothing here. I mean, that thing is, that's useless. You can stick that in the ground all you want forever and nothing's going to happen. So I've got a dead creation here in my garden, if you will, and I need to replace it with a new creation. So I've got these new trees that I'm trying to put in, and hopefully they'll last a little bit longer and do a little bit better. You can come over here with me and see this one. This tree I'm about to put in is a peach tree, and it's going to go in here and hopefully do much better, because that tree was so dead. I've got no choice but to replace it with a new one or go treeless, but the tree's just dead. Now, this is the context in which God speaks of this earth. The earth is, maybe it's not totally dead, but it's on its way out. I mean, even physics will tell you that the sun will fizzle one day. But we certainly see death and despair around us all the time. We live in a world of death, in a sense. And Isaiah prophesies a number of times in the prophetic book Isaiah, but especially Isaiah 65 around verse 17, that God's going to create a new creation. He's going to create a new earth. And it's going to be an earth where there's no weeping, and where infants don't die as infants, and old men live, and there you can plant gardens and you can build homes. This is, sorry, we're on the flight path for the airport, so you may be hearing that right now. But this is the new earth that we're excited about in Isaiah. It's one that bears fruit. See, these are my little peaches. It's one that bears fruit. It's one that is worth looking forward to. And that's where I leave this today with my video thought for the day. There's a promise from God that death and destruction and the twiggy life of this existence is not all there is. That he specifically tells us something new is coming, something fresh, something from him that is a new creation, and not one that's destined for death, but one that's destined for life. And I want to talk more about that tomorrow. But for today, whatever you're going through, realize this is not the end. Even death is not the end. That God has something planned far beyond the dismay and the brokenness of the twigs that we have in our life. There's something new around the corner with God, and that's something worth living for, something worth hoping in. And join me in that, and tomorrow we'll continue in this video thought for the day, looking at some of God's teaching on his promised new creation. That's your video thought for today.